What's going on, my little bundle of chestnuts? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, and I'm on a different channel. And I will make a story time video explaining why. Where's Hunter? Where's the baby? Where's Riley? Where are you? Where have you been? Like, I will answer all of those questions, I promise. But for now, I thought I would do a hair care routine because I think my hair looks so much better than it did. And I decided I would share with you what I do. So, on Sundays, I wash my hair. Sundays is wash day. Monday, I don't do anything to my hair. But since it's Tuesday, we use this healing oil for leave-in conditioner. And I'm about to hop in the shower, and then I'll come out and then I will show you how we do this thing and what it does for your hair. So I will be back. Well, first I wanted to say that step one is you get your hair wet, which is why I always do it after the shower. Do not wash your hair. Okay, so I was in the shower and I did my H2O face cleanser. I got this from the Ronald McDonald House. Story for another time. Probably the next video. Calm down. If you all know what the Ronald McDonald House is, then y'all have an idea that me and John were there. And yes, it is bad, but we're not talking about that right now. I'm gonna cry in the next video, but I'm not gonna cry in this video, okay? So that's a 4-step. I already ran out of step 2. Whoopsie. But so now we just do step 3 and 4 without the step 2, and I'm actually starting to run out of step 3. But while I wait for my hair to kind of like dampen a little bit, because you don't want it to be dripping either, I always do my skincare. So the next step, you do this one. I always do this one in the shower. You're supposed to get your face wet, put like a dime size in your hand, and do your face and your neck. So in this one, we're gonna do the same thing. Do not use this if you already have oily skin, because it will make your skin 1,000 times more oily and you will break out. I have combination skin, so I have dry skin in like the winter when everything is like all chapped, and I have oily skin in the summer when I'm all sweaty. So this was my winter skincare routine, and I need to buy a summer skincare routine because I'm already starting to get all pimply and oily, but every time I just stop using it abruptly, I'll break out even more. So, if y'all have any advice on like what to use for combination skin in the summer, please leave it in the comments below, because girl, I am broke and desperate. So, and if you're wondering where John is, he is at work. I am looking for employment. But anyways, hopefully I can get this channel monetized. And if you're like, oh my god, what a sellout. Bro, I am in my 20s in this economy, okay? So, I gotta do what I gotta do, man. And I'm also trying to get my son back. I can already see the judgmental comments from a mile away. You abandoned your kid. Oh my god, she's a bad mom. Shut the fuck up, okay? I was homeless. Would you rather have let me make my child starve and succumb to the environment? To the elements. I love Riley. But, okay, I guess I can go ahead and tell the story now, because I'm getting ahead of myself. So, after the last video I made, the last video telling you guys that I was pregnant, a lot has happened. So, for some reason, at first, my parents did not like John because they thought he would be an unproductive bum, abusive member of society like Nate was, even though he wasn't. And, like, they can see that. They just don't want me to grow up. Like, they do want me to grow up, but then I try, and then they're like, oh my god, why are you doing that? Because you told me to. But, anyway. So, they kicked us out. So we were homeless, and we were homeless in Arizona. We had our hotel room and stuff, and we only thought that we would be homeless for 3 days. So we let Riley into the hotel room with us because we knew deep down that it would not just be 3 days, but we wanted to have some time with him and say goodbye. And while we were in the hotel, I was still getting food stamps and everything. So we had the whole dresser just packed with snacks and food and dinner items and lunch items that were microwavable for Riley. You know what I had? Granola bars for me. You know what John had? Chips for lunch and dinner for him. Most of it went towards Riley. We literally took him to a grocery store and was like, what do you want, baby? You want this? Yeah. Okay, we put it in the cart. We literally went shopping for him and we had him pick out what he wanted. We had bath stuff for him. We had a change in clothes for him because we literally just packed up all of our shit and we thought we would only be homeless for 3 days because we were under the impression that we would have a friend from Arizona help us out. Turns out their plans fell through, so we were stuck in a hotel room for a lot longer than we thought we would be. Then John had some family out here, and I'm not comfortable saying where I am for my safety and John's safety, and I'll get into that in a minute. We had a friend out here that said, hey, if y'all come down here, you guys can stay with us, and I will get John a job, and I will get Amber some medical care, because I was pregnant. So he said, yeah, absolutely. So we got a Greyhound. We said goodbye to Riley, and because Riley went to my parents' house when we realized, hey, we're going to be here a lot longer for 3 days. My family was like, well, you know he's good with us, and we would never keep him from you. And when you get whatever you need to do, we'll bring him to you. Because even though we knew that, even though we had a friend who said that he could help us, we knew that anything can happen at any time. And I kind of had a feeling that that was not how it was going to go down. So I was going to give it about a month of working out. And if it did, then I would tell my parents, hey, go ahead and send Riley back. Because yes, I love my son. But I also don't want, I have his best safety and best interest at heart. His safety and best interest will always come first. I love him so much that it hurts. But I would never let him go hungry because I love him. I would never let him suffer in the heat from being outside because I love him. I will never let him go without food because I love him. So to all of you stuck up bitches that are saying, oh, she abandoned her kid, shut the fuck up. If you don't have a parent that loves you, just say that. And the next comment that says anything like that will just be blocked. I'm not going to give you the attention that you want so bad. I'm not going to give you the attention that your parents never gave you. I'm not. I can say my story, my side of the story, until I'm blue in the face, but for some reason, some of y'all will be like, oh, she's a fucking bitch, yo, and I'm like, okay, like, it doesn't matter what I say. You will find something wrong with it every fucking time. So that is another reason why I stayed off of YouTube for a while, is because I knew that I would be judged. I knew that there was somebody that would have something foul to say and it would just ruin my entire fucking day, and it was a toxic fucking environment. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just like stay off of it for a minute. And I did. And then for those of y'all that never said anything bad, I am so sorry that I took off for a while. I just needed that mental break, because on top of everything else I was going through, I really did not need to hear some bitch who's never had fucking kids say something like that shit just because she hates me. Like, so, anyways, I went on a little rant there, my bad. But, okay, so now my hair is not dripping anymore. It's all brushed out, so we're gonna use this now. You have to use it when it's damp or towel dry, but never dry and never sopping wet. And you're just gonna take a little bit, and for me, I have long-ish hair, so we're not gonna do it up here. We're only gonna go here down. So anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. So I told my parents, hey, let's give it a month out here. And if it goes according to plan and we're not homeless and we're not starving and there's good everything that's good for him in this area, then yeah. I made that decision because I love my son. And I would do anything to make sure he was good, and that he was well taken care of. Even if that wasn't with me, even if I could not give that to him at that moment, I wanted to make sure that he was okay and taken care of and happy. And to be honest, even when he was in the hotel with me, I could tell that he wasn't happy because he wasn't able to run around and play. Because every time we let him, some bitch next door would be like, they have a kid and they're really loud. So we would have to tell him to stop. A 2-year-old. And so I was just like, you know what? He's not happy here. Like, I'm not doing him any good by keeping him in here where he can't run and he can't play. He cried a lot. He acted like he was angry all the time. He kept throwing fits. He just did not want to go to sleep on his own. He had to sleep in the bed, and even then, it still took him hours to fall asleep. So I knew that he wasn't happy, and I will always put my child's happiness at best interest too. Like, because I love my son, and even if it's not with me, I want him to be happy. So that's what I told my parents. And in August, we came here by Greyhound. Once we got to the destination, they said, hey, I actually got kicked out of my apartment, and now I live with my mom. And my mom doesn't like guests. But I can still get you that job if you come over here to the McDonald's on such and such street. What the fuck? So now we're homeless in another state. Fucking great. And I kind of had a feeling that something like that would happen, which is why I didn't take him with me. Because I knew in my gut that something was going to happen. So, and not only that, but I didn't know his friend. I didn't know if I would be comfortable with Riley around a complete stranger, even though I was around them and John was around them. John was saying that, oh no, he's cool. And I trust John, but a lot of people say that, oh, their friends are fine, and then it turns out they're not fine. They're not safe. So, that was another part of it too. I was trying to get me and John safe and stable first, so that we could take care of him and the baby that I was pregnant with, But I can already see the hate comments a mile away, and I already know it doesn't matter what the fuck I say. So, anyway, I'm going to just explain my side anyways, for those that are my actual fans, instead of just those who stalk me like a creep, just to bully me and harass me. How's it feel being a fucking bully, Narxanon? Anyway. So, me and Narxanon got beef because we'll get into that. We trust me, honey, we will get into it. But let me finish this side. So anyways, So now we're homeless in another hotel in another state. So finally, we found a homeless shelter that did not accept children. It was not good for children. So even if I wanted to take Riley, I couldn't, because there were predators, people who enjoy CP, over at that shelter. There were drug addicts. There were people that would go behind the tracks and do drugs. So they literally tell you on the door, do not bring children into this facility. So we didn't. We were like, oh, fuck. So we thought it would be an issue because I was pregnant, but they were like, well, the child is not here yet, so no, you're fine. Then me and John, as soon as we became residents at the facility, we went to a call center of Bank of America, and we got hired. John got hired, I got hired, and we were doing really good for ourselves. We made $15.50 an hour, and once John got paid, here we are in our own apartment. And we had our baby in March. And for those of you that are like, well, why didn't you take Riley back then? Bitch, I'm getting to that. Because it is a 1-bedroom. First of all, it's a 1-bedroom. Riley needs his own room. So when we do get Riley back, if we're still here, we would move to the living room and let Riley have this room. So not only that, but the neighbors, it's a really crappy apartment complex. I mean, if I got my son back, I would do my best to make it accommodating for him. But not only that, but we still need so much other stuff. Like now that what I'm about to tell you happened, there's a lot more boxes to check off. So, for example, we had our baby March 19th, 2024. His name was Hunter Samuel Boswell. So let me get into my birth story. I was induced at 39 weeks and 2 days. And when he came out, he was purple. Completely purple. His head, his arms, his legs, everything was purple. He looked like Barney. Okay, he might as well have been coming out saying, I love you, you love me. But we were like, what the fuck? Because I had a baby before and he did not come out looking like that. So I was worried because I knew that was not a good sign. But of course the nurses are like, oh no, honey, you're fine, he's fine. And I'm like, ma'am, I have a 2-year-old son, and he did not look like that. The only parts of him that were purple was the part of him that he was bruised because he came out because he was a big baby and I am not a big person. So she kind of like rolled her eyes at me, literally rolled her eyes at me. And, was like, okay, but I'm sure he's fine. I'm like, all right then, bitch, like whatever. He was 5 pounds, 7 ounces, and he was adorable. And there is a picture of him in the profile picture. And if you follow my TikTok, I will definitely tell you will see the story of everything that happened, and you will see more pictures of him. And he was adorable. Not that I'm biased or anything, but like he was really cute. But March 20th, 2024, mine and John's world completely shattered. At 3 a.m., he went into the NICU because he started choking on breast milk. And I was holding his head upright, I was supporting him, I was feeding him the way they showed me, and he just went, like he was like choking. So they rushed him to the NICU, and she said she's just gonna suction him out, like with the little no sucker. You know, the thing with the big bulb on it, and you put it in there and it goes, and it sucks up the boogers. Yeah, that's what she was gonna do. She did not come back to the room with my baby. So I'm freaking the fuck out. I am, mind you, Hunter was born 12:32 p.m. on March 19th, 2024. March 20th, 1 a.m. Dude, I am 12, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. I am 13 hours postpartum. I am not supposed to be walking. My epidural site was killing me. I was still having cramps. For those of you that have given birth, you know. It is literally crippling. And I am still, my mama bear mode is activated. I got up from the bed, like literally sprang up from the bed once I saw her come back without him. And I was running up and down the NICU screaming, "Where the fuck is my baby? Where's my baby? What the fuck is going on?" Like, I'm starting to wake up other laboring moms because I totally forgot where I was for a second. I just knew that my baby is not with me, and I'm thinking the worst. Like, so they came in and they're like, hey, shh, calm down. He's fine, he's okay. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, then where is he? We have to observe him. We think that there might be something wrong, but we're gonna observe him and we're gonna check on him and we're gonna let you know. We're gonna do all the protocols to examine him. So, but you do need to relax, mama. You are only this amount postpartum. So I'm gonna need you to go back to the bed. I'm not going anywhere without my baby. John couldn't even talk me down. And John is very, very good at noticing my signs of anxiety, and he's able to bring me down like that faster than anybody could. But he is not able to do it this time. I can't remember how they did it, but eventually they got me to go back to the room. They got me to go back to the bed. And they had to sedate me through IV drugs. And even the IV drugs were not working on me. Because my adrenaline was so high, I'm not feeling it at all. I'm literally just sitting there going, like I'm breathing, but it's really shallow. My blood pressure was off the charts. My heart rate was way higher than it should be. My oxygen is starting to like go up and down. It was bad, bro. So they had to come in with a Visceral pill to eventually knock me on my ass. And I think it was a combination of the Visceral and the IV drugs that finally kicked in, and John sat on the end of the bed rubbing my shoulders and telling me he's fine, we are in a really good place right now, we're in a really good spot, the doctors are going to work on him, they're really good. And listening to his voice was enough to let my body relax and let everything hit me like a fucking truck all at once, and I went to sleep. Well, the next day I woke up, Hunter is not next to me, and then they came in and told us there's something wrong with his heart. So we have to fly him to the Children's Hospital 3 hours away. Do you consent? We need your consent. Radio silence from then. As soon as they told us that, I could not. Somebody stole my car radio, and I sat in silence. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. Like, it's just like my ears were ringing, my heart was pounding. You know that scene in movies where somebody gets bad news and then you just see their lips moving and they look so sympathetic. And you just see their lips moving and they look so sympathetic and their ears are ringing around them. That is real. Like, that is what I felt. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, we consent. We dropped everything. I was supposed to stay in the hospital for another day. They almost refused me to leave. But I said, I demand an AMA form. I am going up with my baby. And they said, okay, we're just trying to make sure you didn't hemorrhage. I was like, when you checked me yesterday, have I hemorrhaged? Well, no. Then I'm most likely not gonna fucking hemorrhage. Give me an AMA form. Okay. Gave me an AMA form. I signed it.
husband, John, went and flew up with Hunter in the helicopter, and I got my father-in-law's dad to take me. So my grandfather-in-law, my grandpa-in-law, my father-in-law's, my grandpa-in-law, now I can't speak at all. Hold on. My father-in-law's dad. Okay, there. Finally I can talk. Took me to the hospital to go be with Hunter. And once I got there, I saw all kinds of tubes coming out of my baby. My little baby. He looked so broken. He had a little sticker on his head for oxygen. He had a feeding tube. He had a cannula. He was wrapped up in a blanket. I had to ask permission to hold my own baby. They didn't even let me change his diapers. And then they came in. The doctor sat me down. And at this point, I'm in a wheelchair because the adrenaline finally wore off as soon as I got to the doors. And I'm like slumped over. And they're like, "How old is he?" And I'm like, he's 1 day old. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, ma'am, do you need a wheelchair?" I was like, "Please." So I sat in a wheelchair and John wheeled me up there. So they turned my chair around to look at the doctor. And he said that my baby had a congenital heart defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. In case you don't know what that is, your heart has 4 chambers. Right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. And it all helps with blood flow. And without one of those chambers, your heart cannot pump blood effectively. Hunter was missing his left ventricle. And in a sonogram, you couldn't see it. He wouldn't turn over. We thought it was because he wasn't turning over to look at it. But it turns out they did catch it. But they just told me, "We're really happy with his heart. His heart looks great." We never would have guessed. I did everything I was supposed to do. Other than being homeless, but I didn't really have a choice in that. And for those of you that used that against me as well, about Riley, saying like that I abandoned him, dude, I was literally eating from McDonald's trash cans to feed my baby that I was pregnant with. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. If I see any negativity, I'm just gonna block from now on. I'm not gonna give you the attention that mommy and daddy didn't give you. Sorry. You're gonna have to seek that validation somewhere else, because I'm done. Y'all deserve to know what happened, but I'm done with the hate. I'm done with the negativity. I'm just done. So, if I get any more fucking edits of people that are taking what I'm saying out of context and make me a meme to make fun of me, that is cyberbullying, and if you do that again, I am pressing charges on you. So, and here where I am, they take that shit very seriously. Try me, bitch. So, anyways. When they told us that when you're born, you have a little hole in the place that separates all of the chambers. And it helps your little heart pump blood faster. And when you're a couple of days old, the hole in your heart closes. If they had let Hunter's closed, they told me his heart would have exploded in his chest. So they had him on a medicine that kept it open. until they can take him down for surgery. And what they did for the surgery was they gave him a shunt to replace the left ventricle to help the left ventricle do its job. And it's called the Norwood. He would have needed 3 shunts in his lifetime. The Norwood when he was a newborn baby, and 3 months to 6 months he would have needed the Glenn, which is a bigger shunt, and when he was 3 years old to 5 years old he would have needed the Fontan, which is the same thing but bigger. And when he was 12, he would have been put on the transplant list and wait for a new heart and have to deal with him getting sicker and sicker and watch him wither away in front of our eyes and not be able to do anything. So, hearing that news, I just broke down. Every bone in my body shattered. My breath caught. I forgot how to breathe. My ears stopped working. My eyes stopped working because they were clouded with tears. I couldn't. All I wanted to do was take him home and love on him and tell him that I'm sorry that my body did not make him correctly, that my body did not develop his heart the right way. But Hunter was so strong. We were told that he would